Welcome, everyone. I'm Frank Sanchez. I'm the proud principal here at Columbia High School. And so we're very excited about today's meeting, especially it's about our freshmen, our newest students. We've done a lot of work over the summer. I believe Miss Banner is somewhere. She's, I think, coming, or she'll be saying hello very soon. She's our assistant principal. And then, of course, we have from our counseling department, our new director of counseling, Dr. Jen Antone. And we also have our two excellent freshman counselors, Miss Yoli Fleming and also Miss Kelly Murphy, and they'll be doing the presentation today. Let's make sure we're focused on that. We also will be answering some of the questions in the chat as we go. And I don't have a screenshot here, but I do want to say this to parents because I didn't want to put it out there on our daily Canvas announcements, but I love our freshmen. They are very cute. However, a couple of them have decided to lock their bicycles on these little, like 4-foot tall poles by the freshman door, which I guess makes sense. And now there's like 10 to 12 bicycles. Again, I stress they're 4-foot tall poles, and you could just move the bicycle above the pole. So, for security reasons, I do want to highlight: ask your child if they're locking their bikes. Tell them they're bike racks all across the front of the school, especially to the right of the main doors, and there are more secure ways to lock their doors. But we do love our young freshmen. So without further ado, let's start with Dr. Antone, and she can introduce her team.
Wonderful. Thank you for that warm welcome, Mr. Sanchez. Parents, I just want to say good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us in one of our counseling nights that are specific to your children, and that is our freshmen. Okay, go ahead, Miss Murphy. Let's go to the next slide. All right, so just in case you have some children that are other grades as well as your freshmen, we wanted to preview the rest of our nights for the fall season coming up in the next few weeks. All right, so just a reminder, some important names for you as you are acclimating to Columbia High School. Of course, our principal, Mr. Sanchez, vice principal, Ms. Banner, and I see Ms. Banner on. Ms. Banner, would you want to say anything to say hello? Sorry to put you on the spot, Ms. Banner. Take your time.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. I was trying to unmute. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for inviting me, Ms. Antone, to this meeting. I'm really excited to connect with our parents. We haven't connected since the orientation, so I'm sure they have lots of questions in regards to graduation and things like that. So yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. And of course, a couple of other important names. Ms. Damaris Taylor is the secretary for Ms. Banner and for grade 9. Our school counselors, once again, the wonderful Mrs. Yolande Fleming, who is the school counselor for both the Onyx and Pearl freshman houses. And last but never least, Ms. Kelly Murphy, who is our school counselor for both the Ruby and Diamond houses. Okay, so what do our CHS counselors do? It might be easier to ask, what don't they do? Just a little counselor humor there. They do plenty to support students. We are working on student planning throughout the year, which includes academic, college, and career counseling. And as Ms. Banner just mentioned, graduation progress monitoring and planning. We respond to what comes up in the school day. Very early on in my career, I learned no day is exactly like the last. A lot comes up in a busy high school, such as Columbia High School, and in the counseling department specifically. And so that is what we do. We also respond through not just individual counseling, but small group counseling as well. And then we're a part of some of the indirect services that benefit the wellness and progress of our children. And most importantly, and maybe the simplest way to think about it, we advocate for your children. Okay, so we have many different layers of support. This is one of the visuals to just kind of give an idea to you as to all of the different trusted adults that we want to make sure your child has access to. Of course, at the foundation is you, the family, the parents and caretakers for your children. We have classroom teachers that want to make sure that your child has everything that they need. Of course, the peers are an important part of your child's experience at Columbia High School. And developmentally, that makes sense, that your children really want to make sure they're feeling that sense of belonging with peers and throughout high school. We also have our school counselors, our student assistance counselor that can help with some specialized student wellness and mental health considerations. And we have we have two social workers, and we have area interns from some of our partnering universities that help to support our tier 1 and tier 2 programs. In addition to this, we have many other resources. If families are in need, we can connect you with agencies like Perform Care. We have ESS right at Columbia High School. We have the Loft, which is another mental health and wellness program that's housed right here at Columbia High School. We have our CHS nurses. And then last but not least, towards the right of that slide, period 9 is a conference time where students can seek out additional supports. They can see their teachers, so that really students have every support they need to do well academically in the class. Achieve tutoring is available throughout for all students 9 through 12. If students are experiencing a difficulty in the classroom, teachers are able to tap into the Intervention and Referral Services team, also known as NJTSS, where we problem solve. It's a group of problem solving individuals to help work on whatever it is that is needed for your child. And certainly, if children have a medical need that is impacting something that's going on in their life, a Section 504 plan is available. And of course, we have child study team for children with any kind of specialized learning or health needs. And we have our wonderful administrators, 2 of which are on this call. So we have plenty of supports. Okay, I'm going to hand this off to Miss Murphy, who's going to start us off with some of a little bit more in-depth information.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Murphy. I'm excited to talk to you a little bit more about what we have to offer to support you and your student here at Columbia High School. So first of all, first place to start a one-stop shop would be your school counselor. So Miss Fleming and myself are always a great place to stop. We tell students, even if you don't know, if we might know the answer, we'll always help you find it. So we're a good place to stop first. We also have our counseling annex, which I'll go over their programming on the next slide. Something I really want to emphasize, and I talked to some of our freshman teachers today about what they wanted us to share with you all, is definitely conference period. We cannot emphasize that enough. We have conference period on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays during 9th period. And your student can find their teacher typically in the classroom that they're taught in, but that's something good to establish with a particular teacher in case they meet for conference somewhere else. So that's a great question to ask. Maybe when you come and meet the teachers on back to school night. We cannot emphasize enough, we also have our SAC and our social workers. We have a brand new wellness suite this year where they are housed. It's off the beautiful Alumni Commons. And we're happy to walk any students over there who need some extra emotional and mental health support. And we also have our loft, which is located down by the cafeteria. I know some of our students are already utilizing it. It's a nice smaller space to spend the lunch period. If students are having any difficulty in the big cafeteria situation, they can go to the loft and meet with a smaller group of students for lunch. And they have video games and a pool table and lots of cool things for students to engage with. So we cannot emphasize the loft enough. We also have our CHS Counseling Annex programming. This is near and dear to my heart because I started at Columbia High School as an intern working in the Counseling Annex. It's run by our interns and Ms. Hicks. It's located in the library primarily, with now some programming also branching out into that beautiful new Alumni Commons space. We provide academic and social emotional support through the Counseling Annex. Some of our programming includes Eyes on the Fries, which is an executive functioning lunch group. So students come to lunch to work on some study skills and executive functioning skills like time management, planning, utilizing a planner or some sort of calendar system, managing their time and responsibilities. And they're led by interns and upperclassmen tutors in these groups. So that's a really awesome opportunity to just get your freshmen to build those skills. If you need to reach out and get that programming for your student, reach out to Ms. Fleming or myself, and we're happy to connect them. We also have Wellness Wednesdays run by our social work interns. These are Wednesday lunch activities where they focus on things like meditation and mindfulness. They do lots of awesome crafts like macrame and coloring, as well as some social activities. Just anything generally centering around wellness. We make that a focus once a week on Wednesdays in the cafeteria. They meet in a nice little quiet corner and you can't miss them. We also have Slam Lab, which is our tutoring by teachers during lunch periods. So we have science, language arts, and math teachers who are in the Slam Lab during all of the lunch periods. Freshmen just have period 5 lunch, but even as they grow up in their time at Columbia, they can access Slam throughout all of the 3 lunch periods as needed. And if your student would prefer tutoring by a peer, an upperclassman, we have Achieve Tutoring. So this is an awesome advantage because they can access Achieve Tutoring not only during lunch periods, but also during period 9, after school, and even on Saturdays. So if you're looking to get connected with any of these great programs, just reach out to us as the counselors and we will help connect you. Our HSA, which we are so grateful to, just provided a slide to kind of give you an idea of some of the things they do. Hopefully you're getting their weekly newsletter. If not, on the next slide, we'll give you some information about how to connect with them. But our HSA is here to keep you posted on any of the need to know things as parents joining our school community. So if you want to take a second, maybe with your phones, to take a quick screenshot of this slide, this is how you can reach out to them or follow them on social media, just so you can stay abreast of all of the important updates that they share. All right, and then we just wanted to include a quick slide about our CHS library. We are so grateful to have Miss Esther Anderson working in our library this year. She's been really helpful with getting students connected to Canvas, PowerSchool, their Gmails, and anything else you could think of related to technology. She's been an awesome resource. She only started recently, so if your student is not connected yet, hopefully we can get them there soon. Through our library services, we have some databases that our students can access through Mac and VIA. So if they're asked to do a research paper for any of their classes or maybe their biology class, we wanted you to know that they have this awesome resource that they can access outside of our library just on their school Chromebooks through their Canvas login. And Power School questions, I know there are probably so many Power School questions out there. We wanted to give you some important context for Power School. So for students, if they are having Power School difficulties and need their username or password, they can see Miss Anderson in the library or email her at the email there. Please note that there's no N at the end of Anderson in her email. For parents who need Power School support, there's a separate email run by our technology department next door, and they monitor the parent portal help email. So please take a picture of that in case you might need some help getting back into Power School. And we have a brand new CHS counseling website this year. So we wanted to include some information about how to access that. If you go onto our main district page, you go to the upper right corner and look for Columbia High School. If you click Columbia High School and then go down to click on the counseling tab, it'll bring you to our amazing new CHS counseling page. We're really happy to debut that this year. It has lots of great information for you, including our college rep visits. We'll include a recording and the slides of the presentation this evening. We post our counseling newsletter there where you can find the September edition and plenty more valuable resources related to CHS counseling. And I'm going to transfer things over to Ms. Fleming for this next slide.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. That was so helpful. So here's some helpful tips for the survival kit here at CHS. So number one is Canvas. That's where the students will access all of their assignments that the teachers will post, and I believe the teachers post it on the calendar. So that's where they can find a list of anything that's due. Of course, Power School. Ms. Murphy's already talked about that. If there are any issues, please, please, please go see our wonderful new librarian that's going to help the kids figure that out. Because although I like to say that as counselors, we're like guest services, we just can't do it all. So Power School is all for Miss Anderson and in the library. And again, for the parents, she can't help you, but you can go to the parent portal help. Again, that CHS counseling website, that's where I go to get a lot of my answers. So that's a really helpful resource to browse through, one of these lovely nights that you're just, relaxing, enjoying these last dog days of summer. Check it out. There's a lot of information there. Score. This is going to be the platform that your students will use, your kids will use when they are upperclassmen more so. But we always have our very eager freshmen that already know what they're ready to do in 2029 or after 2029. And I've even had a couple of them come and ask me already about dual enrollment and, what other college classes can they take. So this is the platform we use where students are privy to looking at colleges virtually and then just getting all the stats about them, like what the acceptance rates are, what the GPAs are, just tons of information about all of the colleges nationwide. And of course, lastly, please encourage your kids to check their email. They should check it once a day, really, because that's our really number one way of reaching out to them. Okay. Yes, we can call up to the classrooms to get them if we need to pull them out for some, if we have a concern, we have something we want to straighten out before they head to lunch. We can call to the classrooms, but checking their email would be definitely recommended.
Yes, and just Canvas as well. They should definitely be checking Canvas. And we send out a daily email to all students in the I just sent out actually tomorrow's today for just a couple of minutes ago. So they should definitely be checking that every day to find out about clubs, about all different things that are happening in the school day. We even, I think, are starting to showcase, things about like the handbook, like what's the dress code and things like that. So it's always teeming with important information. Okay.
Absolutely.
And
And
parents
the
can
word
get
of the
those too.
day.
The word of the day. I'm not telling you what the word is, but I believe it's pensive tomorrow. I think it's pretty easy though. But
Okay.
anyway.
Thanks, Mr. Sanchez. Okay, so as I said, we are planning ahead. We are, these are our CHS graduation requirements. So to get across that stage in June of 2029, is it 500 freshmen or about almost 500 freshmen need to meet all of these requirements. So there's 4 years of English. They have to take English every year. They're at Columbia High School, and 4 years of PE, health, and of course driver's ed during their sophomore year. That becomes that's a very surprising thing to some of them. They're like, "What do you mean PE and health?" And I'm like, "Believe me, it's a graduation requirement." And I've seen so many sad cases in the summer when seniors are like, "Oh, I didn't take it seriously. I didn't attend." Please take physical education seriously. They need it. The next category is math, science, and social studies are only 3 years to meet the graduation requirements. And although we are just requiring 1 year of a world language, if your child is considering college after Columbia, then we would recommend 2 to 3 years in one language. Okay, not like taking French and then Spanish and then Chinese. I think most colleges would like you to see the consistency of you sticking with one for 2 to 3 years. We also need for all students to have a year of fine arts and a year of 21st century life and careers, which are like our business courses or our very, very popular TV production courses. And then a half a year of a financial literacy course. Now, here's where I'm going to put Mr. Sanchez on the spot, because rumor has it there may be an online option for this, right, Mr. Sanchez? He's muted. Come on. Mr. Sanchez, you're muted. We're missing it.
Oh my God, it was so funny. No, the online financial literacy sign up email will be coming out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that.
That will be wonderful. Because I know there are some of our freshmen that were not able to get all of the electives they wanted, but so they have a study hall. But as Mr. Sanchez says, once we get information about the online course, they will be all set to get those 2.5 credits. I think they will have until January to complete the course. And then there you go. That graduation requirement is done nice and early. So
there was a question Lydia asked about something called option 2, and I don't want to confuse people with option 2 PE, but basically they're asking about a world language offering. So we offer here, just so you know, right, Spanish, Mandarin, and French for a new language, right? That's what a freshman wants to start. Those are the 3 languages. We have some students who might want to learn Japanese, or we have students learning Hebrew and another student learning Dutch.
German. Oh, Dutch.
German?
Oh, German. Yeah, I think.
Well, we might have a German student. I don't know, but I do know that I sometimes let my office be used for the Dutch student. So, well, the student who's learning Dutch, not the Dutch student. But in any case, the point is, if there's a student who wants to learn a different language from what we offer, and then also pay the online course offerings, our supervisor of world languages, Dr. Ramon Robles, will probably approve this request. But it is a process. You could ask your guidance counselor about the process. That could be done at home, although sometimes it's done usually during the day. And so that can happen. So I just want to answer that question. It's too long to type. So sorry about that.
We also have a student doing ASL.
Oh, yes.
In addition to those languages.
Yes, yes.
That's
yeah,
true.
State of New Jersey, like 4 years ago, approved ASL as a world language. So yes. But I would say not every college accepts that as a world language. So it's tough. So you have to just make sure. But we have a list of over 200 schools that do accept ASL as colleges, I'm saying, that accept ASL as a world language. So we can guide you on that as well.
Very good. Okay, so again, all of those requirements will add up to a lovely number of 120 credits, and that's the number we need for them to get across that stage in June of 2029. Next slide. All right, so let's do a little math here, planning ahead. How do we know that our students are going to progress to the next grade level? The minimum requirement will be 30 credits each year. So if we do the math, 30 each year for 4 years equals 120. What's wonderful about the way we schedule our students is we actually give them a little cushion. So they actually have 35 credits. They all start off with 35 credits. And then some sophomores and juniors do choose to take a full day with no conference period and the 40 credits, which gives them a little like heads. They get a little bit more ahead with credits and they can be a little more flexible during their senior year and have some other like privileges like arriving period 2 or leaving period 8. So there are a lot of kids that want to, make that happen. And then some kids just like sticking with the 35 every year. So our goal for our freshmen is to earn their 35 credits to make sure that they all become sophomores next year in grade 10. Okay, 35, that's the number we want.
Just to chime in really quickly, if your freshman is signed up for 32.5 credits, you doing the online personal finance course is a great way to make up the other 2.5 to still hit that 35 for freshman year. So don't panic if you have a child who's doing drawing for half the year, TV production for half the year, with a study hall for the other half.
Right. You got it, Miss Murphy. Thank you. All right. All right. My favorite slide, GPA. So if we look at this chart, you can see we have two ways of reporting our GPA, right? At the end of the year on their transcripts, they will have an unweighted GPA as well as a weighted GPA. And this chart simply shows you what an A plus would look like as you advance. Like if you move further to the right, you'll see the unweighted courses would start at a 4.33 for A plus, then it goes up by 1/3 of a percentage each time you move to the right. So academic would be 4.67, honors, if they take the course as an honors course, it would be worth 5 for the weighted GPA score. And then of course, for an AP course, which they will all get a chance to do next year, it will be weighted 5.33. So it progresses 1/3 of a percentage every time they move up a level. Okay. Just know though that the GPA, don't get excited after Q1 when they all got their A's in PE and you're thinking, oh, they're good, they're 4.0. The GPAs will not be calculated. It's a cumulative calculation. So it does not get finalized until all grades have been captured for that school year. So you won't see your final GPAs until the end of the school year, which hopefully is before July 1st. Which counts more for colleges? We report the weighted GPA, right? But they'll see on the transcripts both weighted and unweighted. I know a lot of colleges have their own way of, addressing that with schools, but for us, we report the weighted in our score platform. Okay, of course, they are way more than just their GPA. We have so many other reasons to motivate your kids to come to high school and do good things and get involved. So please don't let the conversations just be about that, like, oh, I have to take all honors classes to get this certain GPA. Like there's so much more at a high school than making that just the major goal. All right, so planning ahead decisions, definitely. We will be starting course selection, hopefully in January, not till January, February, right? Dr. Antone?
I would plan for after the new year, Miss Fleming, January.
Okay.
The program of studies will be out in January, but freshmen probably won't register until February. But yes,
Yeah.
we'll be starting very soon.
Very good. So some things that we're going to encourage your children to think about is where they see themselves when they start their courses in 2028, 29. We offer math advancement courses in the summer. So if a child does want to get to calculus before junior or senior year, they can do that by taking courses in the summer. Information about that usually comes out in May. I don't know if that will be earlier this year, but that's usually about when I see, the offerings for all our summer programs. Prerequisites. Some courses, some of our electives, they might need to take another course before they can get to that course. An example would be TV production. You can't take TV production 2 before you take TV production 1. Our photography course, you can't take digital photography until you take traditional photography. I believe some of the business classes, the earlier you take personal finance, the more classes will be available for you sophomore and junior year. We also offer a dual enrollment or shared programming with VOTEC, Union County VOTEC, where some of our students spend half the day at Columbia High School and then the other half at VOTEC. And sometimes, depending on what program they register for, automotive, carpentry, cosmetology, it depends on when that program is being offered, and we will find that information out. And usually kids will apply to those programs in January. So those are conversations. If your kids are thinking like, I want to do a trade, I don't think I'm going to go to college, make sure they come and meet with myself or Miss Murphy during December before we leave for break, so that we can start, making our lists and making sure they get all the application work done. Option 2. Option 2. Wow, this is a big one. Mr. Sanchez, Dr. Antone, feel free to chime in to help explain this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Option 2 is, so there's different types of option 2. Option 2 is what the state of New Jersey allows us to, for a student to do a school course outside of the school day, as long as it hits the standards of the subject. So again, what we've been talking about with world language is that in lieu of a world language that we offer, you can take an option 2, right? Another course. Well, we have so many students who are taking, who do play sports, whether it's within the school or it's outside of the school. If it's a competitive sport, we've allowed our students, including freshmen this year, to do option 2, in lieu of 2 marking periods of PE. So it won't be the 4th marking period of the freshman year when all freshmen take health, unfortunately. So it would only be either for the fall, which was marking period 1, or if your child plays a winter sport, they could either take off the 2nd marking period or the 3rd marking period. Ms. Monfasani, who is the supervisor of the PE, will send out an option 2 request form. I will remind students and I'll remind parents with various emails, because there is a hard deadline for that. And so that's what it is. So basically, your child can be, I don't want to say exempt from PE, but basically can go into a study hall instead of PE, where they would, spend 4 days of the week studying, and 1 day of the week they'll have to fill out a log and a Google form for the supervisor to illustrate what they're doing in their extracurricular activity. But again, that is for option 2 PE, which we've fought to keep for freshmen as well.
Very good. Thank you. Um, Again, just making sure, I know that information, I know that some families missed the deadline due to maybe they were away for the summer or just for whatever reason. That's why it's really so important to check those emails. When we visited the middle schools, we reminded them too. I had my students raise their hand. Who's a football player? Who's a soccer player? Like, just remember, check your email in August so that you don't miss that deadline. For next year, their quarter 1 will be driver's ed, probably, I think still. So just know they wouldn't be able to opt out for quarter 1. So the fall sports would be, no, they have to take their driver's ed during that quarter. Okay. Is that it? Are those, oh no, another slide? Ms. Murphy, is that it? Is that, no, is that the last slide? No, this is the last slide. Okay, Dr. Antone.
Yes. And we just wanted to once again underscore what I think Ms. Fleming shared so beautifully a couple of slides ago, is that we want the very best for your children over the next 4 years. What really matters at the core is that your children feel safe, supported. They feel like they are excited to come to school. What really matters is that social connections, being able to have that self-care piece, and that our student wellness. That is what, at the end of the day, is very, very important. I hope that you will reach out if you have any questions whatsoever, and you need to, even if you just need a refresher on how to connect with some of the many resources that our team was able to present to you tonight. There have been some wonderful questions in the chat that Mr. Sanchez and I have tried to keep up with. Mr. Sanchez, there were a couple of questions on how parents can connect with the clubs if they were not, if their students did not originally express interest and now they want to express that interest. Where would be the best place to look for meeting information and links and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so a couple things I'm going to address. So the clubs first. Yeah, clubs. The interest thing at the club fair was just to show interest, but clubs are starting, so you could see them on Instagram being posted on Canvas. Once clubs have been starting to meet, but we'll have a more formal schedule out there on Canvas for students to follow. Students, just want to make sure everyone understands, clubs are for every student, grades 9 through 12. They can join any club, and they can join clubs throughout the year. So for example, I run a Smithsonian local history club, for example, and it runs on Wednesdays, right? A lot of my students who were in my club last year can't be in it this beginning, because they play a fall sport. That's fine. We will welcome those students in May, in the middle of the year and at the end of the year. The only clubs where that's an issue, by the way, would be something like, and it's very few, but something like mock trial, which is really like a team, right? And it meets specifically like, I think it meets like December through like February, and they practice during that time and then perform, right? And compete with other schools. But other than that, they can meet, other clubs meet all the time, all throughout the time. It's a welcoming environment, and they should feel free to join any club. There's no cost there. Now, there might be a dues to very few clubs. HOSA, for example, which is a healthcare club, that's mandatory. National Honor Society, that's mandatory by the national level. So very few, and we're talking about $20, $25. But there aren't dues to join, like, the improv club or anything to
Hall
that.
of Fame. Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame is a great club. Let's see. So mock trial did not start yet. Mock trial, I think, starts in the middle of the year. You'll get information on that.
Spectrum on Mondays with Miss Murphy.
Spectrum Club. Yes, we have so many clubs. And then what was the other question you said, Dr. Antone? I'm sorry, you said clubs and I forget.
I
What
think
the
it was
other-
just what to do if your child has not gotten a chance to sign up for clubs, and is it too late? And we are saying no, it is not too late to sign up
Yeah.
for clubs.
And we have
Ah.
bathrooms, bathroom questions. We do have bathroom. We did install vape detectors at the end of last year. We're just waiting to get them online with our new system, which I know I've been saying that for I feel like 4 months. And so hopefully that will be done very, very soon. That will be a key thing. I mean, I feel like I walk into the bathroom almost every period. So I hear you. The boys' bathroom doors are open, propped open for that reason. We can't do that with the girls' bathrooms because of just the way they're set up. You would then be able to see into the bathrooms, which is not the way the boys' bathroom is set up. When we have the door propped open, you can only see a sink. So that's the only reason why we do that. But yes, that's something. There isn't no smoking policy. I visit when we talk with all the county principals in the county. We talk about issues. That is always the number one issue that we have seen. I sent something home with about pouches as well. I feel like we got the smoking thing kicked like 10, 15 years ago, where we didn't see smoking at all. Kids were grossed out by it, the way it smelled, things like that. But unfortunately, it's a real societal issue. With the availability of vapes and also the way the flavors and things like that. So students do realize, though, I hope, that if they are caught vaping, and we've had a couple students already this year, they are sent home for a drug test, and then we also put them in our counseling program. Our interest is to get them to be taking care of their problem and their issue more than a punitive thing, but we do still want to have some deterrent. But yeah, it's not like when I was in school where smoking was allowed outside and teachers and high school kids would share a pack of cigarettes. So we don't allow that here at all. Football games based on last week's incidents. Yes, we are trying to get a formal agreement with our other 2 schools or 3 schools that we are playing to move them to Saturdays. And unfortunately, when the schedules are made, we make them, and we're basically, I don't want to say signing a contract, but we're agreeing that we're going to have these games on a Friday night. So Montclair Kimberly Academy has denied our request to move it to a Saturday, but I'm trying to get Livingston and Union City to agree. And then as soon as that we hear from them, we'll be able to speak to our students again about their expectations. So we do believe that's an important thing.
Mr. Sanchez, one more question about the dress code, and
Yeah.
what we can say about that.
Oh yes, I don't know the dress code. I because it was an issue. Someone mentioned it to me, a home and school parent at the meeting yesterday. I put it out there today as a reminder on Canvas. So not only did I send a reminder of our policy to our teachers, I sent out a policy to our students so they understand what our policy is. We have a pretty progressive policy for dress code. My 3 daughters would never allow me not to have that. I will say, I think it may have been said in a class here or there, but it definitely wasn't a dress where a student was not sent to the office for anything in that regard. But we will remind staff about our policies, and we're looking at, body positivity is what we believe in. So we'll remind everyone. And eyes on the fries schedule, will that be communicated? I think I've seen that twice, that comment. I don't know what the answer is, counselors. Do we know?
I can answer that. In
Okay.
regards to the Freshman Academy specifically, the Eyes of the Prize is going to be scheduled for every single student. We're going to start with our most vulnerable students, which are the students with the 504s and IEPs first. That starts in October. I've been working with the counseling annex, specifically Ms. Hicks, to figure out which students we're going to register for first, and then we're going to work our way through. However, if we find out that any student needs additional time more than the 3 weeks, we'll just register them for the amount of time that they need. So it starts in October. It starts with students with special needs or special circumstances first, or if the teacher has identified that they do have a need. So if a teacher or a counselor reaches out to us and says, I really want my student, or I do see that this would be something that would benefit the student, then they will be registered early on. But all students in the Freshman Academy will have the opportunity to participate in this 3-week executive functioning workshop.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I think if that's it, we can,
So I think there was a question that came up quickly. I'm sorry,
Thanks,
Mr.
Paula.
Sanchez, about how to know how many credits your student is registered for. I am thinking that is visible on the parent portal. If for some reason it is not, I am going to add my email to the chat here, and you are more than welcome to send me a quick email tonight or tomorrow or whenever you have a moment, and I will send that out to you. The majority of our grade 9 students, however, are not scheduled for study hall. They carry a full load, which would be 35 credits. There's some students may have a semester study hall, in which case they are carrying 32.5. And our counselors have encouraged using that study hall for the personal finance class, which is 2.5, and that would bring them up to 35 credits upon completion. But if anybody has any questions whatsoever about how many credits their child has, please do not hesitate to send me a quick email, and I'd be happy to look that up for you and answer any other questions you may have about your child's schedule.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. And have a great day, I guess. And this will be recorded. Tell your friends. We'll send it out.
Thank you all.
Have a great night.
Everyone. Have a good night. Good luck.